A good day all around because news is breaking right now that you and your buddies will actually be able to put your butts in a seat at Madison Square Garden, at Barclays, at Citi Field, and yes, at Yankee Stadium. Yes! Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Yeah, I can't wait to be in Brooklyn so I can watch no defense for 48 minutes.
Here we
I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait to be screaming, maybe with them able to hear me, that somebody other than Bruce Brown should give you a defensive effort. That's it. That's all I've got to say about that.
Nets lost last night. Knicks lost a heartbreaker. Okay, we'll get into it later today for sure. The good news, what I'm alluding to, is Governor Cuomo said that arenas can reopen on February 23rd. So that's what? 13 days away?
Yes.
Say the 10th?
Today's the 10th.
Yeah.
2 weeks from yesterday.
So 2 weeks from yesterday, 10%. In the governor's announcement, there was a requirement of having a test.
PCP test.
PCR test.
PCR test.
Within 72 hours. I don't know all the particulars of that, but that was in the announcement. The Nets and the Kings game would be the first game in New York in which fans are allowed to attend, and then obviously Knicks home games, hockey home games, and all that stuff in the New York area would also follow suit. So this is a very, very good day on the heels of almost a full year since we were all told, go home. You can't go to games anymore. And while other states have slowly opened up their doors to limited fan bases, New York is right there 2 weeks away.
It's a
great day.
Small, tiny step, but it's a refreshing step because I think for a lot of us, the idea, even if you're not going to the game, like think about it, very few people are going to be able to go to these games based on the limited capacity you talked about. So even if you have no plan on going to a game, turning that game on, putting a Knick game on, and even if it's only 500 people, seeing real fans at a basketball game or a hockey game, it's going to be refreshing. And it's going to be a slow build. That's the one thing, like as this pandemic has gone on and you start to dream about when we get back to quote-unquote normal, what's it going to look like? Well, the reality is it's going to be a slow build. It's going to start off with 10%, and then eventually it'll get to 20%. And then hopefully soon we'll have stadiums rocking and arenas rocking. But I got to tell you, it's very exciting. Even if you have no plans of going, the idea of it, I think, is very exciting.
Yeah, from what you said, listen, if you get to go, great, awesome. If you don't get to go, it'll make it more enjoyable.
Bingo.
To watch the games as well.
Bingo.
And to me, that's a great, listen, we're looking for little slivers of good news. We're all knee deep in it, whether you have a family member who has dealt with COVID on a very serious level, or your life has just changed dramatically because you haven't left the house in 9, 10, 11 months now. All the things that we've all lived through. All the things that we're currently still living through. The things we're afraid of. Wearing a mask. All those changes of life. The fact that we are taking this step. And to me, it is a monumental step.
Oh, yeah.
Monumental because it means that either the vaccine is working, people aren't getting it as frequently, the numbers are down, and for New York, of all the states, because we were hit the hardest towards the beginning of it, for New York to now say, 2 weeks from now, we believe the direction of positive tests will continue to go in the right direction, that we can put 5,000 people in Barclays Center, 5,000 people, or a few thousand people.
Right, a little bit less than that.
In Madison Square Garden, in The Rock, pick your favorite arena. And then come April, we can put 5,000 people at Citi Field, 5,000 people, give or take, obviously, at Yankee Stadium. It's almost like the message itself signifies we've truly and finally turned the corner.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good day.
Absolutely.
Good day.
And, you know, I love basketball. There's a lot of people who love hockey. There's something about the baseball aspect of it that excites me the most. Even though in 13 days there may be fans at Barclays Center, and as ticked off as I am at the team, it's exciting that fans will actually be able to get to see the three superstars play. But to me, the thing that's exciting me the most is the thought of fans at Yankee Stadium and Citi Field. The idea that, because last year's baseball season, look, I watched every game. I was into it. I think a lot of us were. But it was sad and it was depressing. I mean, there was this aspect of sports as a distraction, but then you're watching a Yankee game and there's literally nobody there, and it reminds you of the reality. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so even though the number will start small, I'm thinking of opening day at Yankee Stadium. I'm thinking of opening day at Citi Field. And even if that number is 5,000 or 10,000, the sun is shining, the snow is actually melted, and there's a few people in a baseball stadium. It was very exciting news to hear.
Now,
I'm
it does bring about, of course, a lot of questions.
Oh,
who gets the tickets?
Yes.
So if you're talking Knicks and Nets, you're talking roughly 1,500 tickets. All right, give or take 100 here or there. So 1,500 tickets will be available, because that's 10%, figure 18,000. I knocked a little bit off because you do have to accommodate handicap seats.
Right.
You also have to recognize that some of the seats they count are what they call cafe seats or restaurant seats, etc. So let's just agree on the number, 1,500. All right. Who gets them? How do they get them?
Yes.
And what I mean by that is, if you're a season ticket holder for 20 years at the Garden or with the Net franchise, or come April, the Yankees and Mets, and I'm a season ticket holder for 2 years, but my tickets are more expensive than your tickets.
Right.
Which one of us gets the first crack at it? Now, I do believe on the Yankee side, the Yankees are going to make their list based on how long you've been a season ticket holder. My gut also tells me if you have 6 seats, you're not getting 6 seats.
Right.
So it might be...
Or your seat specifically.
You're definitely not getting your seat specifically.
You have to acknowledge that, and I certainly do, as someone that's sat in the same seat forever. Yeah, I ain't sitting in that seat in all likelihood.
You are not sitting in your seat, and you are not paying the same amount of money
for your
seat. And that could be good or bad.
Yeah.
They're going to make only 1,500 seats available.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, based on where your normal seats are, these seats are going to be more expensive.
No question.
And it'll be your right to say no.
Well, that's why, to me, it's very easy. If you're a franchise right now, you're going to make the same amount of money either way, because you're announcing these are the prices for the 1,500 tickets, and you're going to be able to sell them. There's enough people who will be willing to go. So the money's going to be the same. So basically, it comes down to who do you want to give the first crack to?
Unless you auctioned it.
Well, they're not going to do that.
Okay.
And they shouldn't do that.
That wouldn't be right to the fan base.
Set the price, whatever it is, and I'm sure it's going to be high, like you said,
and
you go in order based on seniority. I mean, that would be the most loyal thing to do if you're a franchise.
I think that's the most appropriate thing to do. Like, you may not be able to afford, Section 100, wherever building we're talking about, seats, but you've been a season ticket holder for 15 years.
Right.
Your money's important.
Absolutely.
You don't make $1 million a year. So the fact that a guy comes in and for the last 3 years has outspent you 10-1, so what?
Exactly.
You're the longer standing fan.
Now,
so for me, I think the Yankees are going to do it this way.
Good.
That it's going to be based on not how much money you spend. We're going to go to you. The longest standing season ticket holder gets the first crack. And the way I'm going to guess, and I do not know this, it's going to be for 2. I don't care how many seats you got.
Right.
We're going to give
Max
you a chance to buy.
You can get is 2.
That's it.
And by the way, the other thing they should do, I mean this.
And I think that's fair, by the way.
That's very fair. But here's the next part. Tell me if this is fair. You can't then go every single day. Now, as a season ticket holder, I love going to every single game. If they're only allowing 5,000 people in, if I'm first online because of seniority, I don't think I should be able to buy every single game.
See, I don't know about that.
Because you do want to spread it out, don't you think, to be fair?
Yeah, listen, you'd love to get as many different people in the arena and stadium as possible.
Yes.
So let's say they go to, all right, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I've had season tickets for 20 years, both stadiums. They come to me, I'm first on the list, right?
Yep.
And they go, all right, Craig, we got 2 seats for you. We're going to get you as close to the field as possible. Not going to be your exact seat, but we'll give you the best seat we got. But we can only give you 10 games.
Right.
20 games?
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do it?
I think you kind of have to because, look.
Like, I shouldn't get to Bogard 2 seats to every game.
No, you shouldn't. Look, if you gave me the option, as a full season ticket holder for the Mets and the Nets, of course I would choose to buy every game. I've done it for years.
Right.
But is it right now in this scenario the fairest to do it that way? No. It's not, because there's more than 5,000 season ticket holders.
Right. So you got to come up with, they sometimes do like weekend only plan.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever. Every team's got their little,
right.
Inventive ticket packaging, right?
Right.
So I think they're going to have to now be very creative and say, all right, the first round of people that we offer the tickets to, let's say there's 2,500 people, 2 tickets each, that's 5,000 tickets, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to give you a crack right now. We're going to give you, out of 81 games, we're going to give you 40.
Right, which is a good number, by the way.
I don't know.
That ain't bad. And you know what? I don't know if you've ever been a part of this.
Now, the question is, once you go through the entire season ticket holder lineup,
right,
do you then go back to the top and see if they do want to buy more, or do you then go to the public? Because also
you want to give the public a chance to get tickets.
I think it's going to go more like this, using baseball first. 5,000 seats Mets, 5,000 seats Yankees. How many of those seats do they take out of that 5,000 for the general public?
Well, that
you got to do
that you can do ahead of time. So you can take, let's say, 1,000 and say this is going to be 20%. General public.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve. They go on sale, let's say, 5 days before each individual game. And because of the testing that's going to be necessary as of now, you can't do it day of because the testing's a big factor. You could do something like that.
Yeah.
And back in the day, if like you bought season tickets with a bunch of friends, there would be a draft right before opening day. It'd be like a fantasy draft. And you would draft the games because there's obviously certain games on the schedule that are more preferable than other games.
You want Subway Series.
Right.
He wants Red Sox.
There's a hotter ticket.
Nobody wants the game against, the White Sox.
Right.
Whatever.
So basically, you have to do that too, based on seniority. Say,
Well,
all right,
I just think
what's your first pick?
I think it's a great thing. It is. It's a great thing. Fans are going to be back in the stands. We are talking 2 weeks from yesterday. Knicks and Nets will have fans. The Nets will be the first home game against the Sacramento Kings. So that'll be the first New York sporting event that fans get to actually attend in person. So my question to you, Evan Roberts.
What's that?
Will you be there?
I'll have to ask my wife.
Will Evan Roberts be at that game?
The most honest answer I can give you is I'll see what my wife says.
Now, I would think based on earlier...
And I'm not the only one, by the way, who would give you that answer.
Based on earlier conversations we have had.
Yes.
I remember last week you said to the audience and to me, my wife loves me so much. She asked how I felt about Bauer going to the Dodgers and referenced some other trade and understood
Darren Williams trade
that you might be sensitive to what took place with Trevor Bauer.
Yes.
So your wife respects and, to the best of her ability, understands your level of fandom. She gets it.
She does, yes.
Part of what makes you special to her.
Right.
Assuming she's listening right now.
Yeah.
And you say baby, because you call her baby.
I do call her baby, yes.
2 weeks from yesterday, the Nets have play a home game against the Sacramento Kings. Mm-hmm. They are letting 1,500 people in as fans, not as media, not as anything else, as a fan.
Right.
The Nets are going to call me as a season ticket holder and ask me if I want 2 tickets.
Right.
Can I go?
Yeah.
What is she going to say? And then who did you get to bring with you? That's the other question. Have
there's
like
a lot
friend
of
auction.
Yeah, sure. Why, do you want in? Are you trying to get my second ticket?
No, thank you.
No,
I'm good, thank you.
I think she would lean towards no right now. I got to be honest with you.
Really?
But here's why. Here's why. My wife also understands a middle of the February game against the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
Like if this was, they're letting fans in for the first time and it's game 1 of the NBA Finals.
How about if it's the regular season game, the only time you see LeBron?
No.
She would say no.
No, because I don't operate that way as a fan. I go to net games to see the Nets. Like, I'm not diminishing De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings. I'm more diminishing it's the middle of the NBA regular season. Okay. Mets opening day, a playoff game, then would be a further discussion. I'd love to be there. I miss going to games, man.
Now you can go.
Me.
The Nets are going to call you. You're a season ticket holder for a long time.
They're calling me.
They're going to call you.
If they're doing it based on how much money you spend, I got news for you, Craig. They ain't calling me first.
I think the Nets are going to do it the way the Yankees are going to do it. It's got to be based on seniority. It's the only right way to do it.
Yeah, if they
take
do
25 or 20% of the tickets, make them general public, figure that out in a minute. as far as the other tickets you're going to go with, for your case, let's say 1,000 tickets now are left over. Those 1,000 tickets got to be given to season ticket holders.
They should.
Based on seniority.
Absolutely. And the same thing with the Knicks. It should go based on how long you've been a subscriber to that team. And by the way, with the Nets, I don't even know if I'd make the top 1,000. I've been a season ticket holder since 2012. I'm not sure if that's long enough.
That's a 9-year run. I'm pretty sure you're up there.
What do you mean? They played in New Jersey for a million years.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right there at the top.
You think so?
Evan Ross. How many sweatshirts have they sent you?
They've sent a lot of sweatshirts.
Yeah, you're right there at the top. You've given them enough money to buy a small home. Yes. Now, here's the question for you.
Yes.
You can only pick one. What's the first building you want to be back in? And I respect it if you want to say Yankee Stadium, because that's where the majority of people are. And you being a big Yankee fan, I understand you want to go to Yankee Stadium.
It's not that difficult of a question. The answer is Citi Field.
Citi Field.
The answer is Citi Field.
All right, not Madison Square Garden.
It's not Madison Square Garden. It's not even Barclays Center and it's not even Nassau Coliseum, because in February, right before the world got shut down, actually in March, I was there last year. I was at an Islanders-San Jose Shark game on a Sunday afternoon. I was at a Nets game on a weekday night. Citi Field, bro, September of 2019.
Yeah, long time.
September of 2019. And I'm not alone. It's any other Met fan. It's any human. September of 2019. I've been in Yankee Stadium more recently than Citi Field.
Well, listen.
I've been in Barclays Center, Madison Square Garden, you name it, more recently than Citi Field. And like I said to you, opening day, the first weeks of the season in baseball, that's going to be special. And here's why. We didn't have it at all last year. This town, which breathes baseball, its heartbeat is baseball. The Yankees, the Mets, going back further, the Giants and Dodgers. We did not have that in 2020. You are talking 18 months since Met fans and Yankee fans have walked into that building. Okay. So when you ask me, what's that building you dream about? What's that building you can smell?
Yes.
What's that building you miss?
Citi Field.
It's Citi Field.
All right, we'll get into all that stuff with you. We'll also find out what exactly a PCR test is. A lot of you may not know, and that apparently, according to the governor, is part of the deal here. You have to have a PCR test with you. I'm not even sure where you get those, but we'll go down that road. Plus, Mark Cuban said, we are not playing the national anthem anymore before Dallas Maverick games. So the NBA said, yes, you are. So that story had a quick ending. Unless, of course, he now defies the NBA. We'll go down that road a little bit later on today. Plus, a little football. We got plenty cooking today. On the day that we found out, we are welcome back in local arenas and stadiums. Could you imagine that? What's next? Bars and restaurants? Wow. Public bathrooms? I can't wait.